And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Farthest Frontier in the third part of our second stream in Farthest Frontier. We did get the warning that in theory the battering rams will now start showing up to our unwalled city. So that's just the thing to note, is that we won't be able to get away with hiding buildings any longer in the town hall alone. We will need to have a proper infantry response to the enemy. Which does mean at some point in the tech tree I'm going to want to pick up the armory. Oh, and that allows the archers to equip Brigadine as well. Okay. Reinforced plate egg. Crossbows, okay. Yeah. Pick up the armory so we can be building our own shields and suits of armor. Even the lighter armor for the infantry. Making positive 17 with the exclusion of manufacturing. The manufacturer is not reliable because we only have like 2 miners on the gold mine. 2 more villagers born. The chicken coop is almost done. Crops again? I can check that in one of the older ones. So we don't actually have access to the grain yet. You have to unlock that in 1.0. I probably do want to get flax going. It's got -5 fertility. Hay is -1, so we might do flax and hay. So this actually this new next field may not necessarily be feeding the people. It's going to be clothing the people probably. Okay, so we got the nice new upgraded trading center for our merchants to trade at. We do have surplus pots, but not enough to trade. We got surplus shoes, but not really enough to trade. Although they're trying to sell us mostly stuff that we don't need. I'd rather be making the shields and armor. Although, well, as you can see, the price is pretty big on those. Although we could buy some if we were desperate. So I'm also going to ignore this trader just because we don't have what we want to trade with this trader. Another goat has been born. We're up to 5 goats. We'll start getting meat and hides in for the goats when the hot goats hit 10. The building's on fire, but they were able to put it out reasonably quickly. Got the bricks and the planks at this point to upgrade the first market, so let's upgrade the first one. The second one I might hold off until after I get the factory upgraded, which is also going to be more planks and bricks. Okay, the chicken coop is done. So we look at the size of the grazing area, which appears to be 7 by 7. Okay, so between the road here, we don't got enough space, so that doesn't have a grazing area. Based on what I'm going to do, I can definitely fit one in there. And I'll probably be able to fit one there, but maybe not there. So, say we want a field there. So we want a 7x7 field. And we will offset them a little bit. I don't need them built right away. Because we don't have any chickens in the chicken coop. Yet. Roads, fences. So we'll put a fence. Okay, into the field there. I think so. Cross-lopped disease. Well, that happens reasonably often. Okay, so the rat catcher came down there and dealt with the rats. New merchant has arrived. Merchant number 2 buys luxuries, mostly furniture, candles, beer, glassware. It sells us some interesting stuff. Would be tempted to eventually pick up some barrels. If we're picking up barrels, let me toggle some stuff. So don't take barrels, don't take barrels. You can't take barrels. Because ideally we want the barrels to go into the root cellars if we're going to have barrels. Or into the marketplaces. I did want to buy barrels from him. How many barrels is he selling? 45. Well, I'm not buying 45 of them. I don't have that much money. We'll do 760 gold worth, which should be 20. It'll mostly help with food spoilage. Yep, has arrived. Does that allow me to actually get 20? Yes. Buy and transfer 20 barrels, please. Now, granted, the storage is what? 10 of each of those. How many in the market? 10 in the market. So we got 2 markets, 5 root cellars, so we actually need something like 70 barrels so you get maximum effectiveness out of the barrels. Four new villagers born. I'm a little, actually, no, I was about to say I'm a little bit behind. The new 4 villagers, I need another house. So let's get another house. And then right about there, let's swap over to flax. And more clover? Flax and more clover. I could technically run... I really wanted to maximize the flax yields. I could probably run flax back to back. Yeah. Five children grown up, so we got 5 more workers. That's good. To 160 people fit to work. Got another knowledge. I do want to work up towards beautification and this stuff, but I think it is time to grab the armory. Let's see if we can get the... armory in. Yeah. No, people don't care if that's close to town, so we can put that a little closer to town than a lot of the other polluty sort of industries. We definitely need more planks. I'm gonna fully max out the plank maker. You're now clicking 72. It's about 25% bigger than this one. Or 4 times as big, right? So definitely making more revenue, although some of that might just be coming from the houses being hired here, right? We've got mostly homesteads over here versus mostly shelters over here. Although we're definitely getting closer to promoting up to the next tier. We got the luxuries delivered. Food's actually going to be a bit RNG. Right, because we got fruit coming in. In theory, we've got beans and root veg. So beans, root veg, fruit, and protein. Right? So it should be 4 types of food. So they should have the foods they need. But whether enough is not enough in stockpile at any given time is a different problem. And then hay takes a lot of time, so hay has to be a season all by its own. Or a year all by its own. And then all these fields probably want more sand, not more clay, if I was to try to improve by pushing stuff into the fields. They're a bit too clay soiled. I have a hunting field over here. I should probably... oh, we got hunting over there. Yeah, I should get a couple more hunters up. Yeah, it was the hunters. Oops. That was the building I was actually looking for. Four more children growing up. be fair, these fences to some degree are a little decorative. Because we don't have any animals around here that would get into the field and become a problem, but... And then I think if you set up a grazing area, those animals will stick to where you tell them. So I don't technically need the interior fences on these fields, but... Oh, I can't, Oh no, it did set correctly. I just also then clicked through into the field. Okay. Into the construction site. Yeah, we're going to want to be on the lookout for chickens, so we can get some chickens in the chicken coop. Which will also help with having some food income, right? Because they'll immediately start providing eggs. And I think this has been food positive. I think we've basically been converting root veg into milk. At some point, we should get cheese making going, so we can convert that cheese into milk, or the milk into cheese, which has better storage state. Don't quite have enough bricks. I got the planks. And we're up to 57 if we don't include the manufacturing. So that is definitely up in the range where we want to push the theater. Although I need more planks for that. That was some more villagers being born, so it's time for some more houses. Your children have grown up. I haven't been leaving space for apiaries. But because of the sort of gardens that I do in the setup, there is, in theory, these are, in theory, pretty nice places for, or as this develops, this will become a nicer and nicer place for honey production. Although, apparently there's no real... We're on a green enough map that this is not a bad place for honey. Even the worst of places, like the worst is like 40-something. Do you have enough for that? Yes, I do. Upgrade the Fletcher. Okay, so once the Fletcher's built, I'm going to queue up the theater to be built. That way all the planks go to the theater. Crops lost disease, and I'm just remembering I haven't moved the goats, so we need to move the goats. They gotta plant it before the goats can eat it, so there's a little bit of hand-wavy time in there. So let's see, we want it clear, clear, and clear, and then we want that to be hay. Can you do hay and work, or is it just hay? Hay is hay is hay. Okay. You clover work clover, clover work clover, and flax clover. So next year we'll start trying to make clothes. Most of the people are going to be most of the people are going to be wearing hide clothes at the moment. But the linen should be preferable. You'd buy hides, so we can feel free to trade off like 54 hides. Same as the soap. Sell 22 soap. It's not great price for soap, it's not bad price for soap. And then I could buy clothes off a few, which wouldn't be the worst of plans. Or, it's high price for candles. We might buy candles. No, I should probably buy soap. Yeah, not soap, clothing. Might have adequate housing for the rate that I want to grow up, so I should plop another house up. Villager got stricken with scurvy. Someone's not been eating their fruits, nuts, and veg. Although it might be the fact that our orchard isn't quite to maturity yet. Closest to maturity is actually the peach trees, which are only 76% mature. It means they're getting most of their yield. 69% capacity for this upcoming year is good. Sell. And sell. Yeah, let's buy the clothes. Buy and transfer. Yeah, we'll sell a little bit more if you're still here in 48 days, or still here when it gets delivered. Here goes that tool distribution. 57% have tools. So we may want to contemplate buying more tools, because the tool worker is definitely up to working tools again. I need to put some limits on you. 25 shields. Same with the armor. 25 armor, please. You haven't necessarily been working very long. That's evident by the fact that no sets of Halberg are even made and stored. And you've made one shield in the last year. But don't super overstockpile those, please. Another livestock animal has been born. We're up to 6 goats. Another traveling merchant has arrived. It sells the stuff we're now just getting into making. Although we don't probably want to sell it to him. What do you sell us? You'd sell spices, we're not there yet. It sells furniture, we're not really there yet. And I'd probably want to make our own furniture. No on the beer. Medicines may be a little tempting. Yeah, we'll buy your medicine. Hopefully our people don't need that anytime soon, because it's expensive, and well, we're gonna have, obviously, intermittent supply for buying it. Okay, so you're upgraded. Is that a limit on the crossbows to 25? What was the other thing I was thinking of? Just remembered it. It is the theater. Oh, it looks like we have a third merchant about to arrive. Every time I sell merchant, anything merchant number 1 before he leaves. Merchant number 2. Doesn't really, well, would sell us more goats. We want to buy more goats. Not really interested in that. We're not surplusing enough pots yet to really export pots. And the villager's being raided. Okay, let's hope that that's a relatively small raid that we can deal with just by deploying the troops. That might be a no. Okay. There is a workaround to that, and that is we can actually draft more troops. Oh no, I can't draft more troops because we're broke. I have no money in the treasury. Well then, at least they won't be stealing any money. I think our army is very dead. Burning my armory down here. I think that was the entire army being destroyed. Yeah, every last soldier has been put to the sword. Town was raided. Apparently the game considers that a victory in defense. Probably because the raiders made off with nothing. Nope, they made off with quite a bit. They made off with the halberd, some iron, some pelts, the armor, or the arrows, all the medicine. All that medicine in his spot just got stolen. We got another one of you. Archers can equip halberds is tempting. Although I should probably, before we contemplate equipping archers with halberds, I should probably get a full bunch of swordsmen. Let's mitigate the fire risk. So I'm surprised that the clearing of this forest has not started to grow back quicker. Maybe it was too thorough of a designation. Got a little bit of trees back here, so in theory it should grow slowly, but predators are attacking. Presumably a hunter? Maybe not a hunter. At some point I'm going to want to designate these boars to be hunted. Maybe want to get rid of the wolves at some point. Probably to get better access to the iron. But I do think I want to leave the boars there, even though they're a little bit of a danger, so that we can hunt them. And there's the theater being completed. Giving us another point of knowledge. Take on masonry. Desirability for parks and shrines would be nice, potentially with getting the desirability up in the initial neighborhood. That might get us over 60 without having to build any more parks. And it'll just come down to supplying food needs. Four new villagers, which means we're going to want some more... Oh, we'd want more houses if we hadn't suffered some casualties in the last raid. Okay, I got a bunch of wood. Here I got a decent amount of workers. Let's start fortifying the place a little bit. Fences. We want defensive palisades. It's probably going to be a while before we get cows, although I should probably put a cow barn up at some point. What's the bit port over here? So we are going to farm over here. We probably definitely want to raise the fertility with something like cows. Villager stricken with fractured bone. Well, should be able to get that treated. Villager is low on builders, it says. Spare a couple laborers to get some more builders. And they've been cured, which is good to see. Good to hear. Okay. Let's go ahead and say you... Say fodder there. This is where we want to put a new field. Maybe this one's maybe a little close to town. Maybe a little. At least it doesn't have a desirability malice, so that should be fine. Got enough wood. I'm going to pre-build housing. This might be a little aggressive, the pre-building of housing. So I have a better idea where the edge of the neighborhood will be. Right, so yeah, I can see a little close, but plenty of space. Probably plenty of space. And then we're going to have a well in there. Resource, well. New year, year 26. Looking at the time, that's probably where I should go ahead and put the part break in. If you're watching on YouTube, we're going to have another part up tomorrow. We're trying to record 2 more parts today, so there should be part up tomorrow and the part up the day after tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to try to get the ad break out of the way so it doesn't come up during the middle of the next part while I'm taking the short break to stretch the legs and sip some tea. So until the next part, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. And bye for now.